Hello, and welcome to the first and perhaps only installment of my digital book club. This is a part of my multimodal aspect for my Disoy logo. For today's meeting, we will be discussing Adrian Rogers' The Battle of the Bottle. Adrian Pierce Rogers served 3 terms as president of the Southern Baptist Convention. He was known as a Southern Baptist pastor whose church services aired on television, and for also being a conservative author. If you haven't guessed by the title, The Battle of the Bottle, today you'll be talking about the dangers of alcohol. Let's take a look at the mission statement of this booklet as written by Adrian Rogers himself. The purpose is to bring people to Christ and mature them in faith. The program's mission is to publish and broadcast biblical truth, maintaining a balance of compassion and conviction. Let's get into the booklet. Appropriately, he opens up with Proverbs 20, verse 1. If you aren't familiar with the Bible, this passage goes as following. Wine is a mocker, strong drink is raging, and whosoever deceived thereby is not wise. So, Rogers wants us to think about what qualifies something to be a drug. Most people are familiar with the dangers of substances such as heroin, meth, or cocaine, or the growing opioid issue, but our culture tends to push away the idea that alcohol is more than just another beverage. He goes on to list several statistics proving the destructive qualities of alcohol. It often contributes to mortality rates, as well as being a factor in mental health. Drinking can cause depression, anxiety, eating disorders, addiction, and even suicide attempts. So now we have to ask ourselves, how is a follower of Jesus supposed to feel about the issue that is alcohol consumption? And what does the Bible say about alcohol? Baptists, for example, they don't believe in drinking at all. So if there is a Baptist who does drink, what does that say about them and their devotion to Christ? So what would Jesus do? Proverbs 31 verse 6 explicitly says, to give strong drink unto him that is ready to perish. In simple terms, alcohol leads to death. As you can probably tell, the Bible clearly warns about the dangers of alcohol. In verses 29 through 30, we are warned, who hath woe, who hath sorrow, who hath contentions, who hath babbling, who hath wounds without cause, who hath redness of eyes, they that tarry long at the wine, they that go seek mixed wine. This is the idea that alcohol brings forth misery, and the different types of misery that Rogers goes on to mention are the sorrow factor, where alcohol leads to broken hearts, hopes, and broken homes, the contention factor, where alcohol leads to warfare, the foolishness factor, where alcohol impairs the mind, the injury, illness, death factor, where alcohol literally kills, the mental illness factor, where alcohol is a gateway to depression, the health factor, where alcohol presents itself as literal poison, the morality factor, where alcohol impairs one's judgment, the instability factor, where alcohol reduces one's ability to control themselves, the sensibility factor, where alcohol strips your ability to essentially feel human, the addiction factor, where man cannot resist or escape alcohol, and the national disgrace factor, where we see corruption in politics due to alcoholism. Now, Rogers goes on to argue that getting drunk is the devil's substitute for being filled with the Spirit. So where do we go from here? Rogers' advice for his audience is that in order to win the battle of the bottle, if you don't drink, don't start. And if you do drink and can't seem to let go of it, maybe you can't handle the battle, but Jesus can. If Jesus cannot save you from sin, he can't save you from hell. There is power in the Lord of Jesus Christ. God has a better plan for us than to be enslaved by a harmful, dangerous habit. Either way, you cannot handle the battle of the bottle without admitting the presence of sin.